Now, the FBI right now, you may not have heard about this, is seeking legislation that would allow them to get your browsing history without a warrant. Yeah, we've heard these kinds of stories before, and yes, they keep happening. Now, tech firms and privacy groups are fighting back right now against an amendment that would give the FBI a top-level view of what they call electronic communication transactional records, ECTRs, without the need for a warrant in terrorism and spy cases. This is the same sort of argument that we heard with the metadata. They're not actually getting anything that you sent out. They're only getting the list of places that maybe you visited. Now, ECTRs include everything from the website you visited to how long you browsed a particular page. And it's all up for grabs as part of an amendment to the Electronic Communications Privacy Act being considered this week by the Senate Judiciary Committee. This legislation would expand the government's ability to collect data using a national security letter, remember those NSLs, which doesn't require a court order and typically includes a gag order saying the recipient cannot publicly acknowledge the letter. All right, before we get all crazy, let me throw this to Lou. Lou, is there anything wrong with this? The FBI seems to be saying, look, it's going to be part of an NSL, so there is some oversight, even if you think it's really lacks oversight. They're saying it's going to be part of an active investigation, and they're saying we're not actually capturing the stream of data coming off of your computer or going to you. We're just looking at browsing history. Is this a problem?
There's services out there that can map your behavior and determine what type of person you are just by your browsing history. So say yes. I think it's an invasion of privacy. I think at this point, you know, they're trying to find a loophole to circumvent some of the current restrictions that are out there, and I don't think it's something that we should allow them to do at this point. I think, yeah, it will make it easier for them, but you know, browser history can be important. I think that's why you know companies, you know, like Facebook and these other companies, are the way that they advertise is based off of your history, using using machine learning to determine where you're going to go and what you're going to do next. So I don't think it's something that we should allow them to do without restrictive access.
All right, now Cheebert, let me go ahead and throw something over to you. We know that FBI Director James Comey has said that the amendment is needed because they need to fix a typo in the current ECPA that has, as he said, hindered the Bureau's ability to work in a, quote, very, very big and practical way, unquote. As such, amending the existing surveillance laws has become a top priority for the FBI, and this is the first part. So let me throw this to you. We know, because we've seen cases where the FBI has been able to track down a user's page history even without access to their browser. We know that during an active investigation, the FBI has powers that allow them to track a user even if they don't have access to his or her personal computer. So why? If they can already do it in an active investigation, when they have a warrant, when they have an NSL, why make an amendment for a power that they already seem to have?
I think it's more along the lines of jurisprudence laws. This is more for Denise Howell to take a look at, but the reality is they can get to a lot of data now. So let's use Google Analytics as a good example. When I first got my first Google Analytics account, I was absolutely stunned at how much browser history it can harvest off the people hitting my websites. Now, it doesn't go and actually identify users by name or account or anything like that. And what the FBI is trying to do is they're trying to take that general information and tie it to individuals. And that's where we start getting into a lot of the issues with the ACLU and so forth and privacy laws. And that's, in my mind, the number one reason why they're trying to fix the ECPA rules, so that they can legally tie browser history that can be harvested by different types of programs like what you see up on the screen and tie it to the individual. I think that's going to be the key. It's the tying of data, the browser information, to the individual. And that is the number one reason why that typo is being such a pain for the FBI. They can see it, but they can't legally tie it to the person.
Right, and this is actually one of the lesser publicized parts of this case, and that is the FBI knows that these tools exist. They've used them. However, what they've said, and I think Cheebert has really explained it well, is they can't understand why they need a warrant for data that a third-party private company could come in and get just by purchasing a list. And that bothers them. But I think I'm okay with it bothering them, right? Because a third-party company purchasing some of my browsing history so they can sell me ads just doesn't seem the same as my government investigating me in a blanket fashion because they no longer need a warrant to look at my browsing data. Am I crazy, Lou?
No, I think you're 100% right. I think they should. They're not doing the work to figure it out, right? These other companies, and these other companies don't necessarily want to know everything about your life. They just want to know if they can sell you something. So I think it's a little bit less of an invasion versus what the FBI is trying to do. So I don't think you're crazy at all.
Well, all my other split personalities think I am.